I just want to show kind of the top of the tree line that the eagle flies. I basically was about 40 feet away from it today. It was basically face level from me, sitting out like where the, not necessarily, I can't show you, it's a little bit further out. It's just beyond where this first abutment on the right hand side is. So just so you know, let's fucking zoom the fuck out there. All right, time out, here we go. So that area where the water is going from 13 feet to basically 0.5 feet twice a day. So that abutment out there, which is about 4 to 6 feet high of what we're looking at on the right hand side, I was basically sitting behind that abutment in my kayak. And you know, in a whitewater kayak, it's meant to spin around easily. It's meant to go from like one side of the river to the other. I'm not saying that I have done any sort of crazy aggressive things. I have not. But I was just sitting in that little eddy is what it's called. You're basically sitting in an area where it protects you from the force of the water going against you. So that's the whole point. And if true boaters who are in a river that is going downhill with flowing water, you know, they need to get to safety in situations because nature is fucking dangerous, and they have to be able to quickly get to the right or the left, and they need to be able to get into small eddies. Like that right there is basically like, you're not in any sort of unsafe situation, truly, as long as you know how to fucking swim, as long as you have a fucking life vest on, you know, as long as you have, if you're in a whitewater kayak, you have a paddle skirt that covers the enclosure to the kayak. Just a second, let me fucking switch hands here. So basically, you know, if you flip over and you're holding your paddle on either side of your body as if you're sitting down, you can practice it just by sitting your ass on the ground and think about holding on to a paddle, a dual bladed paddle. So you have a blade on each side, and when you flip over, which is gonna happen no matter what, like in a real river situation, even in like those Saudab's extreme videos that I post, you know, you get flipped upside down and bashing your head against rocks and stuff if you have no idea how to flip yourself back over. But if you know how to like quickly right the ship and flip yourself back over, you can get into a safe situation very, very quickly. So some people, you know, take that to the extreme, and they're play boaters, they specifically do all those things. Whereas like here, even when there's 13 feet of water, whether it's coming in or out, you know, and sometimes it's creating waves, they're not very high, you know, and when you flip over, you have probably about 7 to 12 feet of water, you know, out in the middle of the river. So like there's no danger. You're not gonna hit your fucking head on a rock. Like if you're over here, yeah, like if you were over by the shoreline and you flipped the boat over and whacked your head against those rocks, yeah, you would fuck yourself up, because like those rocks are exposed. Those rocks that are exposed now, this is, you know, lower tide kind of creeping back to higher tide. That's what's happening with this tidal cycle. So basically in this situation, we get to see all the rocks that are exposed, but typically when the tide is in, those are all covered up. So like you can get into, like I can get into my kayak. Like in the past, this was not as grown in. So let's see, just a second. So like I would be up here. There's a platform up here, and a lot of this stuff wasn't grown up. So you're basically behind this platform. You can get in the boat, put the skirt on, get the paddle in hand, you know, all that shit, and just slide your ass off this 4 foot, like maybe 4 foot, 3 foot little area, and just into the water. and there's really no danger because this whole area where, okay, I gotta get it. We gotta get to 0.5. That's the appropriate way to film all this shit. Yeah, this is better now. Brooklyn's the one that taught me how to use the 0.5 aspect ratio. So here, like when I came back, when I got out in the dark the other night, I got out at probably like 9 o'clock in the dark coming from out there. So like basically riding the incoming tide. So it was very, very easy. And it didn't really matter because you can see the red lights from Hamlin Marina. You can see where Chimbro is. You can see all that construction at night. So it's not an issue. Like if you had if I was better off, I need to get like some sort of mount to put like a GoPro style camera, whatever brand, I don't know. I'd have to do the research. But if you put it on the kayak, you'd be able to see that. That's what we need to do. We need to make that shit happen so you can consume that content from that perspective, because it's just beautiful. So fucking beautiful going around like that boat, like going up to that. Just a second, time out, March. We're not done down here. Let's see again. So like for 2 nights in a row, and then I was out today too. Like I paddled around that white boat. As the tide was coming in. And then I also went out beyond that red buoy that you can see in the distance, barely. And there's a beach there. And there's a humongous cliff, obviously, where Canoe Club Road ends. And you have to turn around, come back up. That's what Hamden's full of, is roads that go down a hill that you have to go back up the hill to get to like the main road, which is fucking dope. It's a fucking dope place to ride a bike, especially if you're creative and you can ride a mountain bike or a road bike. So anyway, which I just was showing Brooklyn some old like road tires. Scott has a trade-in bike. It's a Specialized Dolce. Let's see, it's gray with pink accents. And it was probably originally like maybe $1,100 or $1,200 retail. Margot, stop, get down here, stop barfing. So anyway, it's a 54 centimeter frame, and it's kind of perfect for Brooklyn. Someone traded it in, and they had really not used it hardly at all, and it wouldn't have mattered if they had. It's a nice bike, nice enough. So he was selling it for like $400, and I was like, set that aside for Brooklyn. So that's going to be her first like real adult bike, and I'll be able to like teach her how to ride on the road and how to like think from the perspective of a rider with fucking cars around you doing all sorts of crazy shit. People don't realize how dangerous it is. It's fucking awesome, but you have to understand how dangerous what you're doing is when you're in and out of traffic, which is why like commuters in New York City or any city, they have like a low life expectancy. Like their life expectancy, if they're doing it as a full-time job, is like a year, I believe, somewhere between a year and 5 years. Fucking look it up and do the research yourself, but it's low because they're dealing with thousands. They're dealing with probably like tens of thousands of cars on a day-to-day basis, and they're riding in and out of those cars to deliver fucking packages, from lawyers' offices to people, to clients and back and whatever. They're just delivering packages that they can put in a messenger bag and just go. So, okay, I'm going to walk down that path with Margot now and be done. But I really like doing this longer form content where I can actually like fucking talk for a longer period of time. And I know not as many people will actually watch it, but if they want to hear me talk shit, they might watch it, and that's not just the nature, it's me talking shit with the nature. So we'll do a little bit of creative, bringing the lightning, So here you go, we done. Say out, Margot. Actually, just a second, let me put it back on 0.5. Let me see your pretty face. Margot. Yeah.